First, the top headlines. Minister Nemcha Kipchen takes stock of departmental infrastructures. Nation paid tribute to Niranjan Singh Setri on 131st Shahid Divas. And India adds 7,240 new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours, nearly 40% higher than yesterday. Positivity rate jumps to 2.13%. Hello, good afternoon and welcome to ELITETV. I am Pari Yendrembam giving you 12:30 p.m. ELITETV English news and updates. Now, before giving you the news, we request you to follow the SOP given by the government. Wear a face mask when out in public, wash hands regularly and maintain a minimum of 6 feet between one person and another. ELITETV requests you to get vaccinated in time to protect ourselves from this virus and play your part in the fight against COVID-19. Now, the news in detail. Minister for Textile, Commerce and Industry, Nemcha Kipchen, took stock of the various infrastructural development of TCI. Department in Churachandpur district yesterday, Minister Srimati Nemcha Kipchen visited the industrial estate in Churachandpur, which is listed for inauguration as a part of government's 100 action plan for the first 100 days. Minister Nemcha Kipchen sought cooperation from the locals in proper maintenance Churachandpur cluster type of training center, livelihood business incubation center, and inspected the coal chain unit, which is still under construction. Minister Nemcha Kipchen interacted with the staff of the district industrial center, Churachandpur, and urged for their cooperation in the efficient functioning of the department to further contribute in the socio-economic development of the state. Managing Director Manitko Peter Salam and concerned officers and officials of the department accompanied the minister during the visit. The Bharatiya Gorkha Pari Sangha BJP, National Social Organization of Gorkhas of India, observed the 131st Shahid Divas of Subedar Niranjan Singh Setri yesterday at Imphal West District. The Manipur State Branch of BJP hosted a tribute function at Shahid Niranjan Chowk at Kangla Tombi, where the life-size statue of the martyr is installed by BJP and was inaugurated by Chief Minister N. Biren Singh on 7 March 2021 in an event hosted by BJP, where a galaxy of intellectuals and distinguished guests and several thousand people attended. Ardent lamp lighted and floral tribute were paid on the statue of Shahid Subedar Niranjan Singh Setri, who was hanged on 8 June 1891 at Western Gate of Kangla on the charge of waging war against the British colonial power. Subedar Niranjan, who himself was a personal bodyguard of Yuvraj Tikendrajit, was also given the charge of drilling the Manipuri forces and attended to Sipahis in the service of querying Yuvraj Tikendrajit. He had been assigned by the Yuvraj the important task of the military preparedness and safety and security of the Manipur Royal Palace during the Anglo-Manipuri conflict of 1891. Subedar Niranjan was a Gorkha who was in the service of the British Army. He was an ex-army Sipahi of the 34th Native Infantry. He left the Britishers and joined the native force of Manipur and later appointed as Subedar by the Yuvraj Tikendrajit. He was an ex-army Sipahi of the 34th Native Infantry. He left the Britishers and joined the native force of the Tikendrajit Yuvraj. Sri Ghanshyam Acharya, who wrote a book, Shahid Niranjan Singh Setri, the unsung hero of Anglo-Manipur Khongjom War, 1891, with the perspectives on contributions and historical settlement of Gorkhas in Manipur, has highlighted the brief history of Subedar Niranjan Singh Chetri, and according to him, he was the first Indian Gorkha hanged by the British. Khaupum Battalion, under the aegis of IGAR South, extended life-saving medical assistance to a snake bite victim of Lamdang village, Sursanpur district yesterday. A 32-year-old female was bitten by a snake on 8 June at around 12:30 p.m. and was rushed by the family members to Enkuno, Bishnupur district, company operating base of Assam Rifles. The Assam Rifles Medical Center immediately rendered medical care to the patient and stabilized her condition. Patient was further referred to RIMS Hospital for further evaluation and monitoring. Somsai Battalion, under the aegis of IGAR South, conducted a lecture on yoga and yoga session for the Assam Rifles troops as a part of a series of planned events to commemorate 8th International Yoga Day in Somsai Garrison, Manipur. Troops were also briefed on necessity to incorporate yoga in their daily routine to reduce the effect of lifestyle diseases and other physical ailments. Sasat Battalion of Headquarters 10 Sector, under the aegis of IGAR South, also conducted a yoga session for troops of Assam Rifles as a part of a series of planned events to commemorate 8th International Yoga Day in all AR locations of Kamjong district. Troops were briefed on forms of yoga, necessity to incorporate yoga in their daily routine to reduce the effect of lifestyle diseases and other physical ailments. Funtrai Battalion of 22 Sector Assam Rifles, under the aegis of IGAR South, organized motivational lecture on Literacy Day in Sora village yesterday. The lecture encompassed merits of literacy and efforts were made to enlighten the youth regarding the importance of education and encourage them for a better future. The lecture was focused to assist, guide and motivate youth to make appropriate choice of career as per the interest and potential. It was also informed about career opportunities available for them in armed forces and paramilitary. The initiative of Assam Rifles, especially in the present times, was highly appreciated by the youth, who expressed their gratitude for giving them a thorough insight to choose a suitable career. A total of 50 youths attended the lecture and showed their interest by having interactive session. India has reporting a massive spike in daily COVID-19 infections. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare today said the country logged 7,240 new cases of coronavirus in the last 24 hours, nearly 40% from the previous day. It is worth mentioning that the country recorded over 7,000 COVID-19 cases after 99 days. While the daily positivity rate crossed 2% after 111 days. The COVID-19 positivity rate today jumped to 2.13% from 1.67% reported yesterday. The weekly positivity rate stands at 1.31%. Total casualties due to COVID-19 in the country has now risen to 5,24,723 after 8 deaths were reported in the last 24 hours. The spike in COVID-19 cases are due to the increase in number of fresh infections in states and union territories. Most new cases were reported from Maharashtra. The state recorded 2,701 fresh COVID-positive cases in the last 24 hours, highest in nearly 4 months. The active case load is now near to the 10,000 mark at 9,806. India now has 32,498 active cases of COVID-19. There has been an increase of 3,641 in the active cases of COVID-19 caseload in the country in 24 hours. Active cases stand at 0.08% of the total cases. There were 3,591 patients who got recuperated from the coronavirus in the country in the last 24 hours, increasing total recoveries to 4,26,40,301. The national recovery rate now stands at 98.71%. The Indian Council of Medical Research today informed that 3,40,615 tests were conducted for the COVID-19 in the country in the last 24 hours. Since the start of the pandemic, 85,38,63,238 samples have been tested for COVID-19 in India. As per the Health Ministry, 15,43,748 doses of COVID-19 vaccine were administered in the last 24 hours, and more than 194.59 crore vaccine doses have given to the beneficiaries. Now let's have a short commercial break before giving you further news.
Haksang Fanalaisi Nungai na hingminasi, thyroid, bile, heart naba, kidney danung layba, stress amadi anxiety, BP, sugar wang baphan mangamba, side effect laitaba food supplement pangbigani. Excellent award pangkraba stem cell ahong mamaldasu pangbigani. Pangpam, Keba Herbal Health Center, Kurai Lamlongkong, phone number 961298986.
Iramdam asidasu anauba oina world class machine sizinaduna 20 steps refining eye testing ki facility fanghanjari. Leo Lamlong Excellency Opticals, Kurai Lamlong Bazaar, Tinchit Road, Imphal East.
Adomgidamakta khudongchaba asi pijari. Adomgi mit lemna test tawjari amasung adomgi chanaba chunaba lens sing amadi frame singda chada kun fawgi discount pijari. Leo Lamlong Excellency Opticals, Kurai Lamlong Bazaar, Tinchit Road, Imphal East.
Welcome you all to Minako Residential School at Chanung, Imphal East. An exclusive co-education residential school located on a sprawling 50-acre campus will be affiliated to CBSE New Delhi. First academic session will begin in April 2023 for classes 4 to 8. Hurry up for registration.
Welcome back after the break. Now moving on to the further news. The idols of deities at a Hindu temple in Pakistani city have been destroyed. Police have said the latest incident of vandalism against the places of worship of the minority community in this country. The idols of deities at Sri Mari Mata Mandir in Karachi's Kurangi area were attacked yesterday. The temple is located in J area within the limits of Kurangi police station. After getting information, the police reached the area and inspected the temple and inquired about the incident. The Express Tribune newspaper reported the incident caused panic and fear among the Hindu community living in Karachi, particularly in Kurangi district area where police were deployed to avoid any untoward incident. Sanjeev, a Hindu resident of the area, told the newspaper that 6 to 8 individuals on motorcycles came into the area and attacked the temple. They don't know who was attacked and why, he said, adding that the police were approached to lodge a case. 5 to 6 unknown suspects entered the temple and escaped after vandalizing it. Kurangi HSO Farooq Sanjarani confirmed. He added that the case was being registered against the unknown suspects who attacked the temple. Law enforcement agencies came to the scene soon after the news of the incident went viral on social media. An FIR on the incident was lodged at the Kotri police station against the unknown miscreants. Local residents said an unidentified person entered the temple premises and vandalized the idols of the deities after midnight. In August, dozens of people reportedly vandalized a Hindu temple in the town of Bhong and blocked the Sukur-Multan waterway after an 8-year-old Hindu boy who allegedly urinated in the local seminary was granted bail by a local court. Following the court's decision, a mob of young men gathered and vandalized the Sri Ganesh Hindu temple in the town, according to the paper. According to the estimates, 75 lakh Hindus lives in Pakistan. However, according to the community, over 90 lakh Hindus are living in the country. The majority of the Pakistan's Hindu population is settled in Sindh province, where they share culture, traditions and language with the Muslim residents. They often complain of harassment by extremists. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that India's bioeconomy has grown 8 times in the last year, and it has grown from $8 billion to $80 billion. Inaugurating the Biotech Startup Expo 2022 at Pragati Maidan in New Delhi today, Narendra Modi said India is not too far from reaching the league of top 10 countries in global ecosystems of biotech. He said in the last many years, Indian doctors and scientists have gained prominence across the world. The Prime Minister said, however, this decade is the decade of India. He said, today, when India is celebrating 75 years of independence, biotech sector will play a crucial role in adding a pace to the development initiatives for the next 25 years. The Prime Minister said, diverse population and climate zones, talented human capital pool, ease of doing business, increasing demand of bioproducts, and track record and success of India's biotech sector have strengthened India's power multifolds. He said science and technology is now at the core of development across various sectors. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said government's unprecedented investment in physical and digital infrastructure have provided a fillip to the biotech sector. He said from start of India to BIRSC, government has started several initiatives to bring together the best mind in research and development, which are leading to the breakthroughs that are helping the development of science and technology. The Biotech Startup Expo 2022 is a 2-day event to mark completion of 10 years of setting up of Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council. It is being organized by the Department of Biotechnology and Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council (BIRSC). The expo will act as a platform to connect entrepreneurs, investors, industry, leaders, scientists, researchers, bioincubators, manufacturers, regulators, government officials, etc. About 300 stalls will be set up at the expo, which will showcase the applications of biotechnology in various fields such as healthcare, genomics, biopharma, agriculture, industrial biotechnology, waste to value, clean energy, among others. China and Russia have accused the United States of stoking tensions on the Korean Peninsula during a landmark meeting held to explain their decisions to veto new global sanctions over Pyongyang's renewed ballistic missile launches. Zhang Jun, China's ambassador to the United Nations, told the General Assembly yesterday that tensions on the peninsula have developed to what it is today, primarily due to the flip-flop of U.S. policies. He pushed Washington to take action and made a plea for the sanctions to be lifted. Moscow's deputy ambassador to the UN, Anna Evstigneeva, also called for sanctions to be lifted. North Korea needs more humanitarian aid, and the West should stop blaming Pyongyang for the tensions, she said. Yesterday's session of the 193-member UN General Assembly was the first, and the permanent members of the Security Council had to explain their use of the veto, a step required under a resolution adopted by the global body on April 26. China and Russia's vetoes on the North Korea last month publicly splitted the UN Security Council for the first time since it started punishing Pyongyang with sanctions in 2006. The two countries have also warned that North Korea is preparing to conduct a 7th nuclear test, with the US saying it will again push for UN sanctions if it takes place. North Korea defended its development of ballistic missiles and nuclear weapons as protection against direct threats from the US, a claim that Washington denies. Pyongyang's ambassador Kim Song stressed that articles of the UN Charter clearly stipulate that every state has inherent rights of individual or collective self-defense. The measures that the DPRK is taking for bolstering national defense capabilities are an inevitable choice to cope with the hostile threats of the US within the scope of self-defense rights, he said. For ELITETV News channel, contact to the email address info@elitetv.in or 9402890982 and subscribe to ELITETV YouTube channel or follow on Facebook page, Instagram and Twitter for more information about the channel. Now let's look at the headlines once again. Minister Nemsa Kipzen takes stock of departmental infrastructures. Nation paid tribute to Niranjan Singh Setri on 131st Shahid Divas. And India logs 7,240 new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours, nearly 40% higher than yesterday. Positivity rate jumps to 2.13%. Well, that's all for 12:30 p.m. ELITETV English news and updates. We'll be right back at 3 p.m. with more news and updates. Thank you for watching.